G'day, it's Robbie again. Today we're going to look at lead screw covers. That's like these little jiggers here. A lot of new lathes now come with lead screw covers, a spiral spring strip type like this, or the shelf type, a little lip type, which come over and give you partial coverage. These give you complete coverage, and they keep off grindings, cuttings, lubricant, you know, stops any of that stuff getting on your lead screw. And they're a great thing. They totally protect the lead screw to the point that you can basically lubricate it and forget about it. This lead screw has been lubricated 3 times in 10 years. And all you basically do is just reposition the lubricant, because it doesn't even get discoloured. There's no discoloration from, there's no wear from the bronze half nuts or full nuts, whatever your lathe's got, because the lube totally protects them. There's no grip, and it'll outlast the rest of the lathe basically. So you can, as I said, they come with these on. They also come with a shelf type. On some lathes they have a shelf type, on the smaller model lathes generally, which gives you partial coverage. It comes out and drops down, and it has to feed through the carriage. So there are things that's designed specifically for that particular lathe, and they can't really be fitted aftermarket very well, not from my experience anyway. You can get these as an aftermarket accessory and fit them on, and they're exactly the same sort of setup really. They seem to be inordinately expensive for what they are. I mean, they're quite a simple thing and they shouldn't cost much, but yeah, they seem expensive for what they are. But if you've got a lathe you're going to buy, you know, looking around, if you can get one with lead screw covers versus one without, well, I'll definitely get the one with the lead screw covers if it's the same sort of lathe elsewhere, because they're well worth having, particularly if you're doing any jobs like I do, where you do a lot of heavy grinding. I do a lot of tool post grinding. This lathe has done a hell of a lot of work. You can see it's worn all the blackening off of the cover, sliding in and out all the time. Now, I've said it's all good with the covers, apart from one thing, and the one downside with this type of compression type cover, it doesn't occur with the shelf or lip type cover, because that will slide through the carriage. But on the compression type ones, as it compresses, as you're watching, it's compressing and compressing, but it will get to a minimum compressed length where it has to fit within inside of itself and the mount. Now I can't go right up because I've got the big chuck on at the moment, but I can get pretty much up, and you can see it's nearly fully compressed there. Now that's a 2-inch length, so that cover fully compressed is 2 inches wide. Now that means you've lost 2 inches of travel to your headstock and to your chuck. Now that may not be a problem if you've got a big chuck on like this. It won't be a problem. In fact, if you've got a small chuck, like a 5-inch, this is a 6-inch, with my 5-inch I can get up to it okay, but I've got to watch it, because if you don't have the cutter set, you know, at the right length, and that your clearances can get minimal, where you can easily run up against the fully compressed cover, and bang, carriage gets obstructed, away goes the shear pin on the lead screw, and that's no big deal. You usually just put another lead screw shear pin in, or, you know, a bit of bronze or brazing rod or something, it's all overused. But if you've got a lathe with consumable gears in the gear train, if you're going to be shearing off teeth on those consumable gears, you're not going to be too happy. So something to think about. They're great in every other way, but that is the one downside. Now, and that's a headstock problem. The tailstock's not so bad, because on the tailstock you've got a point of maximum traversement, and that is basically the point of your dead or live centre, pretty much. So even though, and you've got a certain amount of intrusion from the tailstock, so even though this is compressed to the same degree at this end, you can get full travel and it's not an issue. It's certainly not as much of an issue. I don't notice it on this particular on this particular lathe. So, great to have, can be fitted aftermarket, as I said, very easily, but the coil type ones do have that one downside. As far as lubricating them, I mean, I've lubricated this lead screw 3 times in 10 years. It's a lube and forget situation. You can use ordinary automotive grease on there and it will last okay, but I use a product put out by Lathe, which is Lathe 767. It's a lube for slow moving shafts, gears, high temperature application if you want, but I mean this is not high temperature, but it doesn't matter. But it's a very heavy lithium based grease, and I pull that back and you can see that there it is on there. No sign of any streaking from the half nut, you know, bronze from the half nuts. It's as good as the day it went on, and I mean the half nuts will come right up to there. So there you go. Lead screw covers, great thing to put on, particularly for lathes doing gritty or dirty work. But even aside from that, they will protect, totally protect your lead screw and the half nuts. Things like the ways, people get all uptight about the ways. Oh, you've got to keep the grit off there, but the lead screw and the half nuts are just as important, if not more important, because you can always wipe down and cover up the ways. Use a plate like I do to keep the cuttings from falling on the ways, but it's a lot more difficult to clean and lube and maintain the lead screw and cover it. If you use rags to cover it, they'll wrap around the lead screw, and bad news. So, yep, lead screw covers, fantastic thing, definitely worth getting. Put them on if you can afford to do it, or buy a lathe with them on if you want. But be aware that yes, there is that one downside with them, and that's the fully compressed length of them, about 2 inches. So have a look at your carriage travel, see if you can afford to lose that much carriage travel if you're thinking about putting them on aftermarket. Okay, there you go. I hope you found that interesting. Something to think about. Great accessory, and yeah, it'll all make your lathe last a lot longer, and it's a lot less maintenance and a lot less to worry about. So, see you next time. Cheers.